Are you a creator, an artist, musician, someone who feels the call to bring things out into reality? And yet there's this internal feeling of not having the drive, the motivation, not feeling like you really know what it is that you're supposed to bring forth. Or maybe you did, but it's kind of like dwindled, that purpose, your why, all those lovely terms that they use. Well, this video, I'm hoping to share with you just some things I've been learning along the way and ways I've come to maybe push beyond that lack of motivation or the no real clarity and focus so that I can get some things done and still tune into that creative spark, aligning with that true will, that purpose, that call that is divinely implanted in each of us. So stay tuned. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name's Fola, and like I said, this message is really for anyone who feels the call to create, to bring forth something, or maybe you've just been feeling like you have this really deep purpose here on this earth, and perhaps that's to bring value to the world, because I really do believe that we all are here to support with this evolution of humanity. And we do that by sharing our energy, sharing the things we create, sharing our words, our magic. And what I've been feeling a lot of lately and learning over, I would say since the beginning of September, this kind of idea where that drive and motivation, this really clear path that I used to be on, just doesn't really exist anymore. It's probably been about a good year and a half, I would say, where that sense of direction has sort of just fallen to the wayside as I've been coming into more of who I am, how I wish to be, not all the noise of what society has told me to be or do. And so this might be something that you've been going through. There's a bit of a grieving that's going on, a letting go of the old self, the old identity. And that can be really hard. We're so encouraged to get things done, especially at a young age. You get grades, you get gold stars, participation trophies, whatever it might have been. There's this internal and external drive that kind of starts to align together. But what happens when you remove all of that external drive? When you no longer get those accolades, or, people are no longer paying you for the things that you bring forward, or people just aren't showing up or clapping at what it is that you're creating. And so there becomes a time where you have to really turn inside yourself and tune into why is it that you are bringing forth what you're bringing forth. What about it is wanting to be created by you? And would you still do it even if no one was going to see it? That's a really important question that I've personally been sitting with. But since September, this switch, I want to say, of how my internal drive has really been showing up. And what used to happen for me is I would get this excitement, this juicy yes sort of energy. And I still think it's important to follow the things that excite you. But what I'm noticing is, and what I'm attributing it to, is this concept of the true will, this divinely implanted way of being that goes beyond the ego's sense or the societal expectations of how I should be or show up. And it's really how I see it, actually. Let me know in the comments if this is something that shows up for you. Is this me traveling down a road and then I come into a crossroads where I get to make a choice, A or B, left or right. And both directions seem good and not good at the same time. It's really, I'm left with this internal decision to choose. What is it that I want? What is it that really aligns for me here? And what I've learned in September was this idea that oftentimes before I would pick based on what felt more true in my body, what was really speaking into my womb space, this activation, excitement, It seemed very like clear. I could hear that internal guidance. And when that's gone, when that all just becomes still and quiet, it's almost like we're no longer being operated by some other controller, is how I want to describe that. It's like you truly get to come into your own choice of your life. And if you're anyone like me, growing up in a really Christian, religious home, the concept of like your purpose and this life that we're meant to live, it was very much told to me that that's all driven by God. Maybe you even heard that book, like what is purpose-driven life? Like things like that, right? Where it's like God gives you this divine blueprint of your life. God gives you this map of how it needs to be, like your destiny. And I've really struggled over the past couple of years to come to terms with what that means for me, what it used to mean, and now where I want to be. And like I said, since September, this like opening of this realization that when we are in the place of creating or feeling the call to bring something into the world, even if we don't even know exactly what that is, like me coming on to make this video, honestly, was a perfect example where something inside was like, you know what, I think I want to make a video. And then I had to sit with the idea of, well, do I actually want to? Or is it more of a I should because, you know, I need to get a video out by Tuesday every week based on algorithms and all this BS. And then I went and I'm like, you know what? I actually don't even think I want to do this right now. It's like an internal pressure. But when I got up and I started like putting the things away, just like deassembling the whole setup here, I just thought for a moment of like, well, what if I just choose to sit down and film this video, whatever this is. And so I like set it back up and I sat down and now you're hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth. Who is that? Chris Tucker? Anyway.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
And it's just this realization to me that what if you could actually put things out there and make the choice to put those things, even if that drive isn't there, even if that motivation is gone. Because really what I guess I'm seeing or like sensing is that for many people, you've like gone through this process of working and doing things and showing up, like doing your internal work, you know, that developmental work, spiritual work, as I like to call it. And you have like relinquished most of, not all, because we're not perfect beings, but most of those ties to societal expectations and how you once thought you needed to be, your ego's drive to show up and be perfect and do things in a particular way. What if now you get to just choose? And by simply just recognizing when you feel a call to do something, there's like, obviously there's some reason why you've had that. Maybe that in itself is that true will. There's like something speaking to you, but then you ultimately get to make the choice. You ultimately get to decide. Are you going to make that thing? Are you going to record that set of tracks? Are you going to pick up that instrument or go and sit at the cafe with your laptop and just start writing? Or are you going to do something else? And again, there's no right, there's no wrong. We're all humans. There's perfection in our imperfection. But I think when you can just sit down and just choose to do that thing, choose to go on the walk, choose to make that phone call and see what shows up, you will be just really surprised, amazed at the magic. And so here I am, it's now end-ish of November. It's been a couple months since I've come to this realization and really started to see how this path on the road and the choices are there, and that when I can trust that I am going to pick the choice or make the decisions that are exactly aligned for me on my path, it makes me think of that Bandersnatch movie again. It's like, you know, is it free will, determination? It's kind of like a mix of both. We do kind of get choice, but there's only two choices. Like, does it really matter? Is that really free will? But what if you get to choose for you and let go of all the noise, let go of all those expectations that others put on you, including the online world, the technology that runs and disseminates all this creations that are put out into the universe? What if you can just choose to do it no matter what? And with that, I'm going to just add, I was listening to this book on Zen, the Buddhist, Zen Buddhist practice and philosophy. And they were talking about the concept that the word do in the Japanese, which, I was going to say Mikado, that's like a eating place that we have here, Japanese restaurant, but, these different forms of martial arts, these types of concepts, this word do means way. And I was thinking about how the word do is do in the Japanese. But what does the word do in English? What does that mean to us versus this concept of the Japanese? And I don't at all speak Japanese, so Japanese speakers, please correct me if I'm off about this. But that concept of the way, what if you doing is just simply opening up a way on your path and making things more clear? So I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to pat myself on the back for making a video, which I had no idea what this was going to even be, and yet here we are. Let me know in the comments what this means to you. And if you are in a place where you need to shake some things up in your life, that's what I am. I'm a spiritual catalyst, this energy that just does shit and things happen. You can check out some of the links below in the description. Maybe subscribe, come back for another video if you so feel called. And yeah, until the next time, everyone, I'll see you soon. Bye.